Welcome to the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show. I'm your host. Oh, it feels good to say that. I'm your host, Jeffrey Mr., aka Mr. and
I am your second host, Dana, aka Mrs. Mister. And together we are the Misters.
We're working on a theme song. I think can we do a theme song? It's a little, on three. Come on. 1, 2, 3, go.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
It's the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
It's the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show.
Let's start the show.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, the first episode, hey, we are the Misters. We've been married 13 years. This lady's popped out 2 kids, at least 2 kids.
Yes. We have a daughter, Malia. She's 6, and a son, Jace. He's 5. Was not planned that way, but God is faithful.
She tried to trap me.
We'll talk about that on later episodes. But yeah.
She tried to trap me.
Yes, we've been married since July 22nd, 2006. We met at the University of Mississippi.
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll get to all that.
Okay.
We did meet at the university. She saw me. She was like, oh, I got to have him. All expected. I was like, hey, I'm trying to do my studies. Please back up. You harlot. And so, but it worked out. It worked out pretty good. And so if you tune in for the very first time, of course you are, because the very first episode. Thank you. I'll be here all night. And so, if you tune in for the very first time, we get into relationships, marriage relationships, when you're single, engaged, and dating. Been married 5 years, 1 year, 1 month, 30 years, 40 years. We can always learn. We can always grow. We have never arrived. And so, each and every episode, like each and every relationship, we believe you need to laugh, learn, and love. And we also believe that every couple has a little bit of Mr. and Mrs. Mr. in them, regardless of who you are. All right, so thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Share, like. Also on Instagram at Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast at mr.mrs.mister. She's not. On Facebook, Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast.
It'd be lower third, so you should be able to see it
on the bottom. Yeah, right here. Where it is on the video part of it. And then on email too. So email, talk to us. Let's get to the show. Get the laugh part about
yes.
this. Listen, you gotta laugh with you.
Yes. And this is a little segment we like to call Whose Side You On?
So here's the Whose Side You On question today. If you have something you want us to debate or talk about, you can email us. You can hit us up on any other Instagram.
Yes, and the email is Mr. and Mrs. Mr. The Mr. and Mrs. Mr. at gmail.com.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's good to have a lady with you.
Yes.
So our question for today, is it better to have someone that is extremely attractive, of course, or to have someone that has the best personality ever, like you connect on a whole other level on that side. So, would you rather have somebody that's extremely attractive? Who do the ladies love now? Who do the ladies love?
Okay, so, and make sure you guys put it in the comments. So, whose side you on, Mr. or Mrs. Mister?
Of course you know.
But I would say best, great personality. Just best personality, somebody with extremely nice personality. Because the thing is, number 1, looks will fade, and then number 2, sometimes you may meet somebody. I don't need no man that's gonna be always looking in the mirror more than I am, and always, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the wrong. I love a man that is high maintenance, but I don't need you trying to outshine me, outdo me all the time. So that's the reason why I say somebody has the best personality. And then another thing too, I've encountered people who was very nice looking, all of that stuff, but sometimes they may not have anything to offer, so I would say personality would take you a long way, like your integrity about that person. Like my thing is that's a person could conduct themselves with excellence, and do they conduct themselves with humility, so my thing is, So, that's what was looking for as far as like, you know, somebody that I need somebody that's gonna care for me. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, you know, so not to say that people that extremely attractive won't do those things, but you know, yeah.
So your answer is
yeah, he over here punching my leg. So I guess I'm going to.
No, you just don't know. Personality, you said personality. I would have to go on the other side of looks. And I'll say this is the reason why. And say that they say, you know, even God don't like ugly. And so you gotta put in the sense of, I think that you start there. Like you don't just look at a woman, like I didn't look at you across the room like, that girl personality is, I want to scoop of that
well,
personality.
That's usually how it goes.
I know it is,
yeah.
but it starts with looks, and so like definitely having your side, definitely see the points you made. It's a good Christian answers you gave. I think though, in terms of like it starts with looks, and so I think like nobody wants like a wombat or like a little tree monster.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I know. Hold on.
Extremely attractive or somebody. So my thing is a good balance would be good.
Hold on, that's not what the question said. The question is you have to pick one or the other. And so what I'm thinking is you can coach that person into a personality. Can you coach a person into a personality? I don't know. He doesn't. But I would have to just go the opposite way because as men, like we are visual creatures, and so I think many men have chosen something visual. I would give you that though. Many men have chosen something visual and got a tree monster on the inside. So I'm giving you points on this first one so you can get a step your game up. I'm a master debater, and what I'm saying. So, but. So y'all don't count that against me. Count that as a point for me to go against her. But I would have to say on the outside, physical outside. But I think definitely not letting it stop there. So I think definitely starting there. But the question was, just going to the question was, the choice of that part. Because you can have a great personality, but then.
Yes. So I guess, ladies, gentlemen, would you like somebody that is with an amazing personality, like Mrs. and Mrs. States, or would you like?
Would you get tired of looking at a little gremlin or a tree monster all the time? And you're like, I'm saying this is
everybody is beautiful in God's eyes.
That's what God don't like ugly either. So you gotta say what it is. So or you choose on my side of just the exterior model first. And so you do judge a book by its cover, and you may have to alter the pages and see how they are, but you definitely pick a book up by the way it's out.
So go ahead, put your comments in the
side you on.
Put your comments in the feed. So.
Yep. And so today, very first episode, very first day, thank y'all for joining. We're talking about expectations and really getting into like what we were thinking before you got with your person that you may be dating, and then what about now? So expectations before we jump into all of it, and so like do they match?
Okay. So Jeffrey, what were your expectations of us before you started dating me or even dating in general? What were your expectations?
Good question. Yeah. So like we were friends for like 4 years before we had started dating and whatnot. So that was cool.
He swears he met me at a high school dance in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yeah, I was. I was a young
at
lady.
The National Honor Society.
I was in there.
But I don't remember that.
I was clean.
I remember going to the National Honor Society in Tupelo, Mississippi, but I don't recall him being there.
She remembers. And so, yes. And so my expectation for a mate as a man was definitely somebody that fits the criteria. I love like taller women, you know what I'm saying? Like that was my thing. Like I love, and you didn't know that, did you?
I did.
So and I love like I wanted somebody that was articulate. I want somebody that could like vibe with me, you know, like because I like to laugh. Like I do stand-up comedy, I do a lot of different things, whatever. But I wanted somebody that could vibe with that side. I also wanted somebody like strong too, because I knew like if I eventually had kids with them, I didn't want them to be super weak with the kids too. So. But yes, and so, but I think like those things, like being able to hold a conversation, somebody that I like, that I could like be friends with was cool. You know what I'm saying? The mission. So having somebody that would be there, like that looked good, and I could work with in terms of like experiencing life with. Like I didn't want to. I don't know. Like so many people be like, I gotta go by the bar after work because I gotta go home. And my wife will be home. I was like, why would we choose somebody that you don't want to go home to? So mine was before even meeting you or me, you know what I'm saying, spouses, is that I wanted somebody that I could be friends with that I was also attracted to.
Okay.
See that? You thought I was going to hit your joke or something.
No. Actually, and as far as me, for my expectations, so ladies, you know we have these lists. We have these laundry lists. And so...
bless the Lord. Bless the Lord.
My expectations before Jeff and all of that, my expectations was I wanted somebody that was tall, dark,
wow. So the podcast listeners who can't see me right now,
hold on, listen. I wanted somebody that was tall, dark, with fancy hair, with the curly hair, with perfect teeth.
Wow.
So and chocolate, like chocolate. So,
you want a cavity, so.
But for those who listen online, my handsome husband is 5'9", so he's not tall.
I'm average height for an American man.
He is. He's lighter complexion.
Chuck is nasty anyway.
And he has no hair.
On my face, I have plenty.
But he does have perfect teeth. So what I said all that to say, I didn't hit none.
Your listeners was busted up.
No, but let me tell you. But I said that because a lot of times as women, we have these long lists. Mm-hmm. Like we have these long lists of what our expectations, what our significant other would look like. But my thing is, God always have a ram in the bush. So that's what I'm stating is sometimes God will provide you with the complete opposite. Now, one thing that attracted Jeff is very handsome. I think he's very handsome. Otherwise, he's very handsome.
Don't get pregnant on this podcast. Yams.
But one other thing too that attracted to me, his intelligence. He was so intelligent, and then another thing too, he always, even just his friends, he always pushed me more. And so I just remember those moments, and then just like he's funny. He has a great sense of humor, and so for me, I'm more of the serious. I'm more of the serious person, and so he helps to make situations more fun for me and that sort of thing. And like we love to just having a good time. So I said all of that to say is sometimes God will provide you with something even better than what your expectations are.
Yes, definitely. So many people are listening or watching right now, like, hey, like I had my list, like you just said, great example too, and then like the person I have doesn't match my list, but like I'm starting to see more of the negative sides. Like you could probably look at me like, oh, I wish he ain't even 6'8". Like how he can't grow, and look at him not growing while he's sleeping. What not too. So many people harp on those things instead of the positive things like you just mentioned before that too. And so somebody like in a relationship with marriage for years could be like, man, like I'm really looking for that 6'8" person. So maybe somebody that's like walking by or somebody they meet like at the grocery store at work or something like that fits those characteristics and whatnot too. What would you say to somebody to like, if my expectations don't match, if I pick somebody, I married them, I'm serious today, we engaged, like, hey, like, how can I not stay on the expectations that I have and really embrace something else, like something different? Like I'm different, I guess I'm different than what you.
I think the thing about it is for me is just like you have to really just come to the realization I'm gonna accept what God has for me. And my thing is I think sometimes we say we love using the saying we're gonna release the steering wheel. A lot of times we use the steering wheel scenario because a lot of times when you're driving you're in complete control of the vehicle. You're completely in control of driving, right? And so my thing is that sometimes you have to realize who's truly driving the vehicle, and so that person for you should be God. And so my thing is sometimes you have to say, hey, I'm gonna release my hands from the steering wheel and I'm gonna allow God to work, because sometimes you may truly miss out on your blessing that if you have
hold on now, let me pause for a moment. That was your time to shout. This is brother right there. This is the time you can run around the podcast 7 times. Under Shabbat. Hey.
But you may miss out on your blessing as a result of with your laundry list of things. I mean, and sometimes ladies and men, sometimes it's unrealistic. And another thing too,
you can't grow no more than what he grown.
Right.
I tried putting buttermilk on my kneecap.
He definitely not gonna get no taller than 5'9" now, especially now. So, so I'm just saying. So you have to just make sure, you have to, remove that laundry list of things. And I'm not stating, make sure we need to look at more so not the physical things, but look at, do they have a great personality? Do they have a sense of humor? Do they have a career or a job, which is very important? Or if they're in school, do they have a trade? Those are the type of questions. So I'm not telling women or men to settle on anything, but what I'm stating is in regards to physical, because I even know some women, they say they won't date people with kids. you know. And I get that, you know, I understand it could be a lot of stuff. So my thing is, but what if
ain't
you
no fun. They drop them off. Yeah.
So my thing is, but keep in mind, what if you meet this amazing guy and he has 2 kids? You know, or I think about with Jeff and I, if something should happen to one of us, and my thing is, and we decide 3 years down the road to date again.
You say 3 years down, you will have somebody that man with my
and
kids.
that's on another episode too. but you know, 3 years down the road, like you know, I wouldn't want one of us to be penalized because of Malia and Jace. Because if you feel like that you can't date one of us because of our kids, then you definitely, I need for you to continue to step, because those 2 means the world to us. And so my thing is, when you assess, so what I'm stating, I said all of that to state is, like, make sure God is completely in it when you have your laundry list, okay? Because like I say, sometimes I do believe we set unrealistic expectations.
Definitely that. Yep. And so like after that, like what expectations are, like they come like being open to change. Many of us are so rigid to the point, like, hey, like fellas, like stop following all the Instagram models on the side and expecting like your lady to be like these unrealistic things that people get. Like people are getting like butt shots or whatever you call it now, like the whole 9, just to try to fit this image that we can't really hold up to ourselves. So it's really just like pushing to a point that we can look and say, like, where do I get my expectations from? So the next part of this is like us thinking about, like, where do your expectations come from? Did they come from you seeing something when you were younger? Like you saw somebody that was tall? Was it something that you were just attracted to? I don't know if you thought about that yet.
I think just from watching like movies and that Hollywood stuff, you know, and I'm not saying, I mean, because but because people in Hollywood, they're real people, you know, they are truly real people. So and then another thing too, but I just believe from just watching Hollywood stuff, you know, a lot of times looking at magazines, a lot of times that stuff is Photoshop, you know, so I believe that that was just, you know, just growing up. So it wasn't like something that my mom was like, you know, make sure you meet somebody that's tall and chocolate.
Plenty of money. Right. I know you said something. If she can't use a comb, don't bring her home. Hello.
You know, so it wasn't that or anything like that. I just believe that it was just a part of who, you know, that I adapted over time. What about you?
Okay, good. I don't know, that's what I was thinking too, of like we adapt, I guess, over time. Like I used to have like a thing for like, I want to say, because people going like drag us in the comments every time. But I remember growing up, like I used to like light-skinned girls for some reason. I don't know what it was. I think it was because most of the superheroes I had were white superheroes, and so they had like Superman had like Lois Lane and whatever, and so there was no Black Panther. There was nobody like then, and so those were some of the people that I looked up to growing up, and so like that took a piece of like, hey, why do I just look toward that certain thing? Like there are great characteristics in all women, like all races, all too, but it was just being like reflective first to see like where do we get our expectations from. And so just like in the movie, speaking of Tyler Perry, like in the movie, it's Why Did I Get Married Part 1, like the guy had an expectation of like, hey, I need somebody who is like this shape and whatnot too, but after he lost her in the end, like he wanted her back. And so many times you don't appreciate the things you have, you look for things that you don't have, thinking that the grass is green on the other side. And it's not, many times it's just I need to work on my own thing, and many times it's working on me, and many times it's not the other person, it's me being reflective on myself, because if I would have kept that same mindset, like it's nothing realistic that you could have done in a situation like that. That's something I have to internally deal with myself. So I think for most of us, especially men, what like things about a woman being attractive have we went growing up, heard our partner something, oh man, she fine and cute, and so then we want to get somebody like that. Just as I said, so many times it's doing the digging and work ourselves, whether it's in counseling or being reflective yourself or journal, whatever you gotta do, and figure out what is at the core of that, and then taking out anything that's toxic or not helping your relationship. Now, if you're married to the person you're married with, find great qualities about them that push them. What about you?
I would agree with that. And I think another thing too, we have this thing, it's called everybody know about the 80-20%, right? The 20-80-20 rule or whatnot.
Yeah. First time, right?
Yeah, the
80-20 rule.
80-20 rule. But one of the things, we take a different spin on it now, and this is something that we got that I got for Brown Baptist Church, Pastor Bartholomew Orr in South Haven, Mississippi. But one of the things is... but one of the things is about the 80...
Sponsors, if y'all want to... right now, we are the sponsors for the podcast, okay? So let me look right here at the camera, right? If you feel like a benefit of that, holler at us at any of those meetings.
But one of the things is the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is a little bit different. Okay, so there's 20%, right? And there's 80%. 80%, you would love everything about that person. 80% you love about that person. There may be 20% that you don't like or love about that person. Mm-hmm. And that probably is not going to change. That's not going to change about that person. So my thing is, focus so much on the 80 and give the other 20, either you need to pack it up, put it in a box, give it to God, whatever you need to do. But my thing is, you have to truly focus on the 80% about that person. Mm-hmm. So it's a different spin on the 80-20 rule where, you say, well, the 20%, but this is just a different spin is because my thing is, with your spouse, with your mom, with whomever you're in a relationship with, friends, you're not going to like everything about everybody.
You don't like everything about me?
No.
What?
It's reality. We would be sitting up here lying to you if we tell you that you're going to love everything about that person. Really? You're not. You're not. And, because the thing about it is God made us all so unique that it's just impossible.
I was thinking if I found somebody that was just like me, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, that might be alright, because I'm thinking it was a lot. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. Yeah. Like it's definitely another side, which I think we balance each other out. We've had battles, so I think to get to a point, I think we're still growing for this.
We done had some battles.
You would have, listen, fellas, if you are with a woman.
You was about to say a black woman. I know what you was about to say.
I was talking to my white friends too. They had some of the same issues too. Listen, if you were a woman, trouble is a man. We are so easy to work with in regards to. We are so easy. Like you feed us, like we like little puppies. No. Like you feed us and rub our
whatever. But so I said, so that's what I was really if you don't take anything away from this today, make sure, and I hope you take away a lot. But the thing is, make sure you completely focus on the 80% with your significant other, your children, whomever, your boss, anything. Focus on the 80%. I think so many times, we focus so much on the negative. You remember, positive vibes only, good vibes only, whatever it takes, slay the day, whatever it takes, focus on that 80%. Because keep in mind, there's 20% about you that people don't like either. We're not perfect. So, I know there's 20%. I know I have my look.
What is, let's make a plan. What's one of the 20% that you feel like about yourself that I would pick? Like, what do you feel like I would say for 20%, and then we'll do the same thing? That's a big plan.
So,
I'm trying to be transparent here, be honest.
I believe one of the things is I have long days, right? I have long days with my career.
Whenever somebody starts
with their children, with their schedule, and then we both just started branching off more into our own business and stuff like that, becoming entrepreneurs. Stand-up company, all that stuff. So my thing is, I have this thing where I like to do where I come in because I'm on the phone all the time. I'm interacting with people all the time. And, my days is where, I may be interacting with somebody for a wedding, a funeral, ministry leaders, all of that. So, because I'm in ministry. And so when I get home, I want to just shut down and just mindless.
Drag her through the comments now. Yeah, ready to drag you 8 different things.
But I like to just mindless look at stuff like for my business or mindless look through Harmony.
No, she'll be just. I was like, yo, we got the kids asleep now. What's up?
So that was probably one of the things that I would say Jeffrey does not like about me. Because the thing about it is just like, oh my God, you don't know how it is. You just want to turn off. Like, you don't want to think about anything, and so that's what it is for me. So I'm sure that's what it is. Would you agree?
Ding, 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 ding.
So I had to make an extra conscious effort. I don't do it every day. I had to make an extra conscious not to do it every day. So, yeah. What would you say is one thing that that I would say that I don't like about you?
That when you want to sit down on those days, that I would push you to not sit down on those days. I would say, yo, what did you say? Because he'd be like, yo, I'm not gonna sit down. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna be present. I'm not gonna put my phone down. I'm gonna be right there. And then I'd be like, so, so I think that you sometimes dislike that I will say something about you. Hey.
We know each other, but I would say this.
So yeah,
yes,
that still doesn't stop the frustration part about it. But I think is like one thing that we've grown in, recognizing that, showing grace, and then communicating as well. So like selflessly trying to do the relationship marriage that you're in is a big piece. That is, we're 13 years in the game of being married, but that's still something that we're working on. Like you're doing that because you're like you don't know the day I've had to this point, and so but I'm like. Well, I need to connect because one of my things is I like to connect with the piece.
And even though he has long days too, but that's how he likes
still
it.
Energized.
He's still energized.
I'm ready to go.
Whereas for me, I'm the complete opposite. I'm like energyless, or whatever the word. So, you know, but I would say this, and that's one of the things that even like you said, you know, even with this podcast or even with anything, you never get to the point where you feel like you have arrived. You always want to grow, always learning. So even we do daily devotionals and stuff like that together. And one of the things that it talked about was setting aside 30 minutes. You know, what did it say? 3 or 4 times a week?
3 days out of the week.
3 days out of the week.
Put your phone down.
Everything.
And then
put the
just
kids to bed if you have kids.
To
each other. So take about 30 minutes for 3 days.
Foreplay.
For 3 days of the week, but it's also communicating, talking about
like. Can you say 12 play more?
Yeah. But and I will also say this because they did mention this, but I'll also say this: do not utilize that time to talk about bills or anything related to kids and kids schedule. It didn't say anything about that, but that's one of the things that I want. That I would like to add is it's really a time for you guys to talk about each other and your goals for life. And that does not include bills, okay? Your goals for life is, man, where do we see ourselves in 3 to 5 years? Where do you see your business? Where do you see your careers? What do you see, what is your dreams? Like that's the opportunity to really dream with your spouse. And the thing about it is because if you don't dream with your spouse, who are you dreaming with?
Hello, you preach the word. So, hey,
I know,
run
right?
around the podcast 7 times. Yeah, so definitely that. But like, connect, you know, because when you're dating, like you put in that energy. Like going back to expectations and whatnot too. Like when you're dating, you put the energy in. You push. You really make the effort and whatnot too. And I think it's just natural when you're in something so long, and then you have kids, your life and jobs and work and whatnot too. Like they can take away that. This relationship doesn't have the same priorities it has before, and so like one person could be struggling silent, like, man, don't you see? I'm trying to connect, and so I guess just being honest about that, like being able to communicate that and communicate your expectations with it. You had them before you got into a relationship. After you get them, still communicate those throughout because they could change and push through. Now, all right, getting to the love part about this, something you can do, right? So let's say you watch this podcast by yourself, you listen to this podcast by yourself, you're in the gym. Some homework for you, some love work, we like to call it. So for the next 7 days, I want you to say 2 things that you appreciate about your significant other, spouse, dating, whatever in the situation. So like 2 days, and so like, if you're waking up with them, wake up and be like, girl, ooh, look, your chin and where your chin is formed. I bite that chin off your face.
But don't do that.
Because that's illegal and you might get arrested. But I don't know. They might like it. You don't know. But like in terms of just say 2 things that you appreciate about your spouse or being grateful about those. And so that will help you have a grateful mindset. So just something on the love work we want you to do is like 2 things at least the next 7 days. You can go past that rest as you want to do. But like looking at them and saying 2 things. So like 2 things I appreciate you is I appreciate you doing this podcast with me.
Oh.
Best, you know?
Yeah, child, it's been a struggle. He been trying to do this podcast.
Man, but we're 3 years in the game till I get this thing done. Hello, somebody. Hello. And so we're here now.
It takes me a little bit longer.
Just a little bit. But hey, grace and mercy. We try to push this thing, right? What's one thing you appreciate?
I appreciate that. So many things I appreciate.
You just pick one. You have to tell them all.
I appreciate the joy and the laughter that you love to bring to other people.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. Jeff loves entertaining people. He loves people. So I love how you love not only me, but how you love other people, and the fact that you also want to bring other people to Christ and get to know more about Christ.
Oh, that's all right. Hey,
Yeah.
you're gonna be all right. All right. I think we're almost up on our time now for this first episode. Listen, if you have not clicked subscribe, if you're on YouTube, if you're on the podcast, subscribe as well. It costs you nothing to show support like that. Tell somebody else about it. A lot of times we have a lot of friends who've been through divorce, been through a lot of situations and whatnot too. And so like we're not perfect. We could have been in a situation too many a time, but we're still here. Thank God for that. And so we really want to push in terms of every couple being able to laugh, be able to learn together, and then love each other. And so before we
But I always like to end off with a scripture.
Definitely.
Yes. So we talk about expectations and some of the things that you like. Well, Dana and Jeff, we don't know what to do from here.
Mr. Help me.
Yes. But so remember always Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you hope in a future. So remember, God is not trying to harm you or anything like that when you follow Him. So my thing is, just keep in mind Jeremiah 29:11. And then also, for those who wants to continue to take the wheel, as I like to call it,
I gotta have all my lists. Somebody told us, I hear you.
Remember,
I'm 6'8", 6'9", he gotta be dunking. And he gotta have all the teeth as well.
Right. Remember Psalm 62:5, for God alone, O my soul, wait in silence, for my hope is from Him. So sometimes we may need to wait in silence. And remember, because God won't lead you in the wrong way.
You talk to the ladies?
Men too. As I do my hair.
See that? So you listen to the podcast, as you can imagine, a lady's neck moving back and forth. That is exactly accurate. So all right, before we leave, so make sure y'all do that. Follow us on social media at all the ones here or down in the description.
Right there.
Put in the description and whatnot too. But every episode, like to end off with something that secures us. All right, for this next week, before we come back next week. Every week, all right, check in with us every week. Episode,
we talking about finances.
We're talking about finances, right? Something that when you can put the boxing gloves on and get with it is something that has, beside like, the money may be one of the major things that separate couples. We get in there. We were thankful able to pay off our home 19 years early. Hey. People on podcast like, oh, this just blew my ears out. But hey, that's Honda Shabbat. Oh. So no, seriously, I know, seriously, yes. So seriously, that's a great thing. We'll talk about, get into it, have any questions, we'll be able to answer some questions on social media as well, but definitely get into the financial part about things. We'll pay it off. How we able to do it? She works church-wise. I was teaching for the majority of part.
So you're able to do it now without even making a whole bunch of,
we have kids as well. So you can do it, man. You can do it, so whatever you want to do. So thanks for tuning in. So tune in, subscribe. We're gonna send it right to you so you'll be able to see when it's popping up. All right. So all right. Before we go, before every episode, I want you to take your spouse, look him in the eyes,
grab their hand.
It's just like a 90s R&B song.
Say, you know, the 90s R&B was a hit.
Yeah. You say, hey. Flip your arm. Like you used to do at the picture show. Hey, don't roll in there and look him in the eyes and say, I like you. I love you. Lick your lips and laugh. What? Let's start over again. I like you. I love you. And I want you. Get a little sugar.
Till next time. See you next week.
Mr. Podcast. Sing the theme song one time. Come on. 1, 2, 3. All right, take it out.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
It's the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast show.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey.
Laugh, learn, love.
It's the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast show. Oh, yeah. Love you. God loves you. I think you know about it.